Oh, hello Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for joining me here today for your special update. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And gosh darn it, your power card. This is the star card. The star card rules the sign of Aquarius. And we got the first card out of the pack today is your power card. You're really tapped in right now. I feel like you have, you've been experiencing a lot more like spiritual activity than lately, right? Than normal. I think lately you've been receiving a lot of messages from Spirit. Okay, I think that you've been doing a lot of divination. You've been watching a lot of tarot, doing your own sort of tarot, or I don't know that you do tarot. I feel like you're more of an astrology kind of person. Very similar to tarot anyway, but I feel like astrology is really your thing. I feel like you even do some sort of like, you have either an astrology website or a blog or like a YouTube channel or something that you do that's centered around astrology in some way. Yeah. You're really tapped in. And I think that you've got a really, really important alignment coming up right now. And you're getting a lot of messages from Spirit. I think you have a very clear idea of who you are and why you're here. And really now it's just a matter of following that, right? Following through with that, manifesting that. You know, you've got this clarity. Okay, and the star card does two things. The first thing it does, it illuminates who you are on the inside, what's going on in your soul, in your psyche, right? Shows us your blockages, shows us our weaknesses, shows us where our knots are, where our sort of, where the buttons are, you know, so that we can work on those things. And as we see that and we start working on those things, some of that light starts to spill out into the world around us. And, well, we're being, appearing as sort of a beacon for others. So I think other people are very much tuned into you. Now, people may not know what you're doing. You may not really let people know you, you know, really personally in that sort of way, you know, not get too familiar. But people see you as somebody doing very important work, and they're inspired by you. Okay? I feel like you have a lot of followers, even if you don't want them or you don't know that you do. So you're acting as sort of a lamp for others in this darkness. All right. What this light also does as it spills out into the world around you, it shows you sort of what paths you are meant to follow. And I liken this card to somebody who has taken a pitcher, scooped up the divine water from that divine lake, I don't know, and is pouring it out onto the dry earth, right? Watching where those little streams of water go. Some of it absorbs right into the earth, right? But then there are these little streams that kind of flow out as you pour the water. Follow those streams. Those are the streams that are meant for you, okay? We're going to put this into some context. We're going to see what's going on here with some more cards, more energy for you. And 8, see, these are all those streams of that creative, divine, fiery, watery energy, yeah? These are all the different things in your life that you're applying yourself to, right? That it may seem like they're a lot, and it may seem like they're taking you in different directions, yeah? Oh, there's the Fool card. The depth of your emotional body. This is a lot of emotional work. I think the star part, the first phase of the star, the inner illumination, showing you where your soft spots are, where your karmic knots are, what things we have to work on. I think it was very much an emotional process for you, and I think it continues to be. But you're gaining an emotional intelligence. You're becoming more and more transparent with yourself. You're transitioning into this really, like, I call it like radical self-love. And I think that's the Queen of Cups over here. I think that's really very, very good energy. We've got the World or Universe card, right? Very, very good major arcana right up the middle here. And another one, an Emperor. Very good. Okay, a 10 of Swords. 9 of Wands, yes. Princess of Pentacles and the 7 of Wands. Princess of Pentacles, very good card. Not a very good position in the spread, right? And I think that the difficulty here is realizing that there's not enough time in the universe. There's not enough hours in the day, days of the week. There's not enough years of our life to accomplish everything that you're capable of. And honestly, that's a pretty big compliment, right? That's a pretty good problem to have. That you're capable of so much that you're just going to run out of space. You're going to run out of room before you run out of potential, okay? And that's a good thing. But it's also kind of hard to deal with, right? Because it means we have to sort of narrow things down a little bit, all right? It may mean that while you have all these different streams that you could follow, streams of consciousness, streams of creative energy with the 8 of Wands, you've got to sort of be able to pick and choose. You got to have the authority to make a decision of which ones you're going to bring to completion. See, this is so cool. You really got the best reading. We've got the Fool and the Universe. We've got the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. The first card, the 0 card of the tarot, and the very last major arcana. So this is, really the potential for you to start anything, right? This is your curiosity. This is your freedom. This is saying that kind of nothing is holding you down from anything, that you're free to pursue any path in life that you wish, right? Just floating freely through the universe. And this is saying that anything you start, you have the capacity to complete, right? The beginning and the end. If you start it, it will come to fruition. The Princess of Pentacles, as sort of a counterpart of the Universe card, is saying, you can't do everything, right? There's a limit. There's no limit here. This is infinite. Infinite creativity, infinite manifestation. There is a finite component here, and that's the Princess of Pentacles saying you gotta choose what you're gonna accomplish or at least prioritize. Maybe this is about prioritizing, okay? Watch out for someone in your life that's making a lot of promises to you, right? Spirit's saying rely on yourself. Rely on Spirit, yourself, capital S, right? Don't rely on other people who are kind of trying to sell you on something in the future or make promises about the future, okay? Rely on yourself, rely on your divine connection and your intuition, your spiritual insight. Okay, I think a big part of the inner work that we're talking about is the emotional part, and then of course the 10 of Swords that come along with that. Really having this, lifting the veil of your own emotions, being very transparent with yourself, and knowing what things you kind of have to scrap. We're talking about the Princess of Pentacles saying you got to sort of be picky and choosy about what you're applying yourself to. You got to know what to kind of throw away. You got to know what plans are just totally bunk. Okay, in terms of your desires, your plans, your interests, but in relationships too. Don't be afraid to start over with something. Okay, it's time to leave something behind you. Whatever this emotional tie is with this 10 of Swords, it's time to untie yourself from that. Okay, I don't know if this was a past relationship that is kind of, there's still some sort of attachment there. Okay, I'm kind of feeling that somebody took advantage of you in some way. It's time to just could just cut the cord. Just be done with that nonsense. Okay? You've got too much potential here. You have the capacity to be really, really, really happy in your life. And I think you are going to be really, really, really happy. So let's, before we get too far into this, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to set it down here. We're going to put Frankenduck right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will, whoops, sorry, Kelly. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Let's use our intuition. You've got this, this star card. Let's use that gift that you have, right? I think you really have the gift of introspection. You have the gift of foresight. I feel like you have a gift of like second sight, the spiritual vision. I think you really, know things, and I think you know yourself, and I think you know what's good for you, what's not good for you, and you have the courage and the authority and the agency of this emperor to be honest with yourself. And that's what this card really is. It's emotional transparency. It's radical self-acceptance, radical self-love. You're able to be really, really clear with yourself about how you feel about things and why, what sort of things you're interested in or attached to, and you're brave enough to know which ones you got to cut loose. Okay? And I think there is a tie with this a particular person that you kind of need to cut them loose. Okay? I think that maybe it's the same person that's been making these promises. Again, I feel like they kind of took advantage of you. It's time, you've learned your lesson. It's time to move on. Okay? And maybe even with some of this, you're wondering if you've made the right decision by cutting ties, by sort of, by canceling the whole thing is kind of the words that I'm hearing, right? So you're wondering if you have made the right decision. Well, yes, I'm pretty sure with the major arcana cards we have, you have made the right decision. Because there are much better things for you to apply your energy to bring to fruition, to begin and to complete, that will make your life so much better. Okay? If there was an issue with this particular person, I think communication is the biggest issue, because I don't feel that I don't think they appreciated who you are and what sort of aspirations that you have in life. Okay. Anyway, let's look around the room. We've got a lot of the major arcana. Okay. And it's really the star card that's kind of showing you what things to begin and complete, right? Where to start and what the results will be. And then, of course, the star is showing you your own power and your own agency. And so we have this juxtaposition here of kind of the fire and the water, right? With the Emperor and the Queen of Cups. This is literally fire of fire, and this is water of water, right? So I feel that Spirit is showing you where your emotional blockages are that you've got to work on so that you can have even more authority and agency over the direction of your life, and so that you can accomplish even more. The emotional ties and blockages are just sort of slowing you down, right? And then, of course, this is the Eight of Wands. This is the card called Swiftness. It's about the speed of things, how things just sort of happen. It's like fireworks, And I think that we sort of have to narrow down or prioritize what you're going to do, who you're going to interact with, what things you're going to be pursuing, what are these new paths that you're embarking on. We've got this fool down here, and really, I think that this is you ready to start over, ready to begin something again, ready to start anew, start fresh, start from scratch, even, right? And I don't see this as being a bad thing in any way. Okay. I think this is your ability to really adapt and to change course as you need to. Right? The Fool can easily let this Ten of Swords go, because the Fool doesn't really get attached to anything. So there's part of your personality really is that you're trying not to get so attached to things or to people or to just anything, energies, right? So you're learning how to kind of stay in the detached sort of aspect of things, right? How to not get so wrapped up perhaps in maybe other people or other energies or, that sort of thing. But at the same time, you want to and you need to. We don't want to remain totally like the fool, because the fool is very inconsiderate. The fool doesn't have any concern for anything, has no sense of self, therefore has no sense of other people either. Just goes from one novel thing to the next. Sort of bouncing around, it's just a pinball, getting knocked around through life, and can have some really good experiences, some not so good ones. Doesn't really care about any of them. Just wants something new again. Been there, done that, ready for something new. But this is good energy. It also needs a little bit of modulation. Okay, it needs a little bit of commitment, needs a sense of direction. Well, thankfully for you, you've got your star giving the fool direction toward where it's supposed to go. Which path are you supposed to take? Which corner of the universe, what star system are you supposed to end up in? Right? So you're in a very good position right now with all this alignment. And that's why I started saying that there is some kind of alignment happening for you right now. And I feel like this is really it. Because I feel that between the Fool and the Eight of Wands, there's kind of this, really just this wandering around. It's kind of like we're starting things that maybe feel good in the moment. We get really fired up about something, and then the Fool is just kind of saying, I'm ready for something new again. And then here's something new. We love beginning new things because it's that novelty, right? Once the novelty wears off, the Fool's kind of like, I'm ready for my novelty. So it's very important that we have this alignment. I think you're in a very special position in your life right now, because this star card is giving some direction to the Fool. In all of this wandering around the open, it's like Sinbad in the Seven Seas, right? Just wandering around the ocean. You're navigating by starlight into a particular star system. See, this is the entire canopy of the heavens above you. This is a particular star that you're following. This is your North Star, right? Your lodestar. And that's where Sinbad the Fool is sort of sailing the ship. Okay? So we don't really need an actual compass. You're navigating by this particular starlight, and this is your star, your North Star. Okay? And of course, we have the Emperor, which is the agency for you to then steer the ship, take charge, take command, right? The Fool doesn't know what's what, right? The Emperor, on the other hand, is the executive function, the agency. Showing your ability to grab the wheel and to navigate. Okay, it's all about salience. It's all about what you're choosing to give your attention to. You see that star, that North Star, whatever, the pole star, and that's what you're following. Okay, and this is your ability to then point your ship in that direction and pursue that path, knowing that you have the capacity to follow it through to completion. That it's really going it's going to make something. It's going to become something. Right? Beginning to end. It's sort of following through with this journey and not just kind of getting bored and turning around another way. Ready for another novel thing. You know that about yourself. And maybe with the Queen of Cups, it's kind of, it's you knowing that you have a tendency to search out that novelty, and then you get bored kind of easy. Okay? So now you're really doing something, I think, on a larger scale. It feels like you're doing something that is bringing a lot of people together. I feel that this is something it's sort of connecting you with humanity, right? Rather than with one human. You know what I mean? It's kind of you're thinking of the whole rather than of the particular. Now we're going to move to the path of the serpent. As we talk about these cards, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. And it really does support the channel, and I really do appreciate that. All right. The Ten of Swords that we see, it shows that maybe we started a lot of plans, we started a lot of paths, and then we've abandoned them. Okay, we started them and they didn't quite come to fruition. We've reached the end of the path and it didn't have anything for us. There's no flesh. There's no meat on the bones here, right? This is us kind of ending something before it really has, maybe because it has no benefit to us, right? And because it was kind of an empty road. It was a path that didn't lead anywhere. This could be the point where we got bored. This could be the point where we said, "Meh, there's nothing here. I'm going to go look for something else," right? But it's the ability to sort of to say that, and it's okay to do that. It's okay to say, "I'm not feeling it. I'm out of here." Okay. We have to be honest, and I think that's where Spirit is showing you your Queen of Cups. We have to be honest with ourselves about why we have those feelings. Why do we abandon things the way we do? What are we really looking for? Right? And you have this alignment now. So I think you've done this work. I think you've done this work. And now we've got this Nine of Wands in the environment. This is your resolve, your commitment, your perseverance. So even if we have to move past this feeling of, the Fool is sort of ready for the novelty again, you have the commitment and the perseverance to stay on course. And that really is the Emperor's doing. The Emperor has the willpower to say, no, we're staying on course because this is something that is going to make us tremendously happy, bring us a lot of abundance, it's worth the trip. We're staying on this road because it is worth the trip, And I think that's really that kind of confidence that you have. And the capacity that you have to see things through till the very end and reap the rewards. And the results are going to be better than you anticipated. You have no idea how happy you'll be. Okay? I think with the Fool also, there's this feeling coming in that you don't always look before you leap. That you have had a tendency in your life, as we all have now, I'm not just throwing shade. There's a tendency to sort of jump into things. Okay? And then, of course, we got to kind of find a way to jump back out when we realize that, not really for us, right? There's been jobs that I've taken, relationships that I've gotten into, cars that I've gotten into with friends, that say, hey, let's go do this. And okay, wait a minute, and then we got to find a way to sort of get back home. You got to get out of the car, got to take a bus back home, something like that. And we've all been there. We've all done that. And I think this is part of that sort of inner illumination where we're learning, okay, yes, I do that. Why do I do that? What am I looking for? What is the impulse? What is the feeling that sort of leads me to jump into something before I really figure out if it's even something I wanted, right? We get halfway down the street and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to go here with you. I'm going to get out of the car. And I think now we've got that sort of strength where we know that about ourselves, so we can resist the Fool's urge to jump into the next novel thing, but also the strength then to stay on the path that we've chosen wisely with our spiritual discernment and our spiritual insight, to stay on the path even when the Fool is ready to jump out of the car and go find something else to do, find some other novelty, right? That takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of strength. And the sun and the moon conjoined, I think, is really an important thing because it shows that you have a conscious connection with your spiritual energy. And that's kind of these two cards together, right? I know it's not sun and moon, but essentially it is the conscious executive mind, our sense of agency being directed by something deeper, something more subtle, something that's, irrational, right? Something spiritual. Okay, and that's allowing us to sort through all of the myriad possibilities in life because, again, you're somebody who's capable of accomplishing anything you put your mind, but anything you put your perseverance into, right? Anything that you can apply your willpower to, you can accomplish. But the idea here is we've got to figure out what we're willing to put all of our energy into in order to see it through to this completion. And this is going to be really, really good. Okay? There is, I think, a little bit of anxiety going on with you right now about some sort of a health issue. I don't know if it's you or if it's somebody close to you. That somebody is waiting for some test results, or there's some sort of anxiety about a health thing. Now, I'm not a doctor. It's not a medical reading. Spirit's saying it's going to be okay. That there might have to be some adjustments made, but things are going to be fine. Okay? And I'm not it's not a prognosis. It's just kind of we're just having a conversation here. Okay? But that's the message that I'm hearing. Yeah. We talked about the Princess of Pentacles. And I wonder if you've been contemplating a change of venue in your life, either a job change or a changing kind of where you do your work, or changing your living situation. I almost feel like you're ready for like some new scenery. Yeah, I feel like you want kind of a change of scenery there. Yeah. The Princess of Pentacles is a very good card. It shows everything manifesting, but it is now, it's not the infinity of space. It is rather the finite energy of the earth, right? So there's limited time and space on this planet we're on, right? In this body that we're in this life that we're in, we're limited by time and space. Okay. So even though you are infinitely capable of doing an infinite number of things, in practical reality, right, we can't do an infinite number of things. So we've got to prioritize. We've got to be picky and choosy. You've got to make a decision, and that's the difficult thing. When there are a million things that you could be good at, how do you break them down into like 1, 2, 3? How do you prioritize? How do you choose one over the rest of them without doing it for a little while and saying, oh, I really wish I would have chosen the other thing? It's not easy, right? It's a struggle. And here's the Seven of Wands. It's a struggle. And it's going to be something that you're going to have to sort of wrestle with. And it comes back to your ability to commit and struggling against that part of you that is ready to sort of jump into something else that feels good for the moment, some other sort of creative endeavor, some other relationship or a job, or to the urge to sort of change things and seek out novelty again. Okay? The Seven of Wands is a struggle, and it's interesting how we have 7, 8, and 9, right? But I think this is something that is, it's leading you to the accomplishment of those sort of deepest soul desires, those spiritual, like really it's helping you to fulfill your destiny here. Okay? But it's a struggle to stay on the path even when the Fool gets a little bit kind of loud and wants to go start something new. We like the beginning of things, right? So we sort of have to fight against that part of ourselves. I want to look at the mystery card. I'm thinking here it's going to be some water energy because we don't have a lot. We had the water energy here, which we kind of talked about in a certain way. I want to see something 3 of Cups, 6 of Cups, 9 or a 10 of Cups. All right? I want to see the happiness. I want to see the real pleasure that you're experiencing and really it's through your commitment to this and struggling to stay on the path even against all the odds, all the distractions, all the impulses that we might feel to kind of abandon it and start something new. The pleasure that you're going to feel every day that you stick with this is adding to the happiness. I'm thinking 10 of Cups here. I'm thinking this is it. And especially because we have our 7, 8, and 9. I don't want this to be the 10. Right? No meat on the bones. I want to see the meat on the bones here. Either 10 of Pentacles or 10 of Cups. Here we go. Ah, yes, 10 of Cups. That's the pleasure. That's the enjoyment. This is something failed, ruined, didn't work. Didn't feel it. Maybe you finished something and said, there's nothing here. The desert. It was a mirage, right? This is the oasis, right? It's not a mirage. You're choosing, you're able through that spiritual energy, that spiritual insight, that higher discernment, you're able to recognize that this is going to be the oasis, not the mirage again. not the illusion. You're not going to get there and realize it's just more sand, right? No, this is blessing. This is happiness. This is the fullness of life. You have no idea how happy you'll be. Well, maybe you do now. This is extraordinary. I love this energy for you. And we are going to do an extended reading if you want to stick around. There is a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Aquarius Thursday and Sunday. This was a special update. It doesn't replace your Thursday or Sunday readings, okay? So be sure to watch both of those too. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.